friends, I'm Akash, and this is your News of the Week for the week of February 20th to February 26th, 2022. I'm Akash Dakoti, and we begin our news with a very important story. Russia has officially launched their invasion of Ukraine after months of buildup. Currently, Russian forces are right there on the border of Kyiv, which is the Ukrainian capital. And currently, Ukraine is trying to fight off the Russian insurgents from taking over the capital city of their country. Now, this invasion comes in the wake of an abnormal increase of troops across the Russian border to Ukraine, as Russia prepared for what this invasion would be. And on February 21st, Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, officially announced that Russia would be recognizing the, for the most part, entirely unrecognized Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics. Now, these are both two sort of countries. I mean, no other country really recognizes them apart from Russia for the most part, but these are basically autonomous regions in Ukraine that have been fighting with Ukraine because they're pro-Russian separatist movements that want to create their own countries. So this is the situation, and although Ukraine and most of the world doesn't recognize them, Russia did on February 21st, and many suspected this would be the catalyst for the beginning of the Russo-Ukrainian War. And sure enough, it was. Just 3 days later, on February 24th, Russia announced that as part of a peacekeeping mission, as Vladimir Putin said, that Russia would be invading Ukraine as a result. And so there it was. The war has begun. It's been going on for the past 3 days, and it's been massive. There have been many different sides on which Russia is making this invasion. There's one front coming off from the already Russian-controlled Crimean Peninsula, which Russia took over from Ukraine in 2014, much to the condemnation of the rest of the international community. There's also one side coming in from the Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics as the pro-Russian separatists unify with the Russian military against Ukraine. And there's also another side coming in from Russia's neighbor, which is Belarus. And this side is one of the most crucial, as Russia is trying to capture the Ukrainian capital city of Kyiv, and this is the force that is trying to do it. I mean, as we speak right now, the war is currently taking place, and Ukraine is just managing to hold back the Russian forces from entering the city. Although there have been a bunch of shelling and bombs that have hit a lot of cities. Airstrikes have reached the three most populous cities in Ukraine: Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Odessa. And the international community has heavily condemned this attack as well. Now, for example, President Biden said that this whole war was unjustified, but also that the U.S. would not be deploying their army out to fight against Russia with Ukraine, because that would just start a proxy war, and, well, things are not going to go good if America has to step in. Now, after this, we've seen the UK, Canada, and the European Union all going in and saying the same thing. They all followed suit as well. An emergency meeting was held by NATO for security, and in it was announced that the NATO response force would be activated for the first time in its history, really, as Russia comes to invade Ukraine. The NATO response force will be formed and sent off there, and hopefully they're gonna win, and we're gonna win, and Ukraine will hopefully be able to take back the land they've lost from Russia. Now, this is what's been going on right now. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi appealed for an end to the violence in this region, although he didn't necessarily state exactly whose side he was on. Now, the actual websites of both RT and also the Ministry of Defense of Russia. Both of these websites were taken down by the infamous hacking group Anonymous, who sort of waged a cyber war, if you could call it. And basically, they've been trying to take down as many of Russia's government sites as possible in order to just make Russia's day even worse than it already is for them. And so this is the situation that's going on. As well as this, we've seen the Come Back Alive charity, which supports the Ukrainian soldiers in battle, received more donations in one day than it did the entire year before combined. So the amount of support that has been received on the Ukrainian side is absolutely remarkable. There have been mass protests, anti-war, in Russia as we speak. They're still going on, with thousands of arrests by the Russian military and police as we speak, as a result of these protests that are taking place against the war that has been raging over the past 3 days. So that's what's been going on with Russia and Ukraine, and the invasion has finally taken place. So let's take a look at our next story of the week, which is an update on coronavirus as cases begin to fall as a result of the Omicron peak passing by. We now see 1.7 million cases per day, 73,000 of which come from here in the United States. As well as this, we're seeing 10,000 deaths per day worldwide, almost 3,000 of which are from the United States. The CDC has officially announced plans to lift mask mandates in the wake of these cases rapidly falling down as much as they skyrocketed back up a few weeks prior. Florida has announced a series of measures that are going to basically remove the restrictions on wearing masks at work, that are going to bring children back in schools, despite the COVID-19 risks that might come with it, and also encouraging off-label treatment of COVID-19 in replacement of the vaccine. And meanwhile, Illinois has announced that they're also planning to remove their mask mandates, and it seems that many of the businesses and whatnot in the area are planning ahead to make sure that everything goes well when the mask mandates are finally lifted in the state. So that is your update on coronavirus right now, with mask mandates being lifted across the country as a result of these rapidly falling cases. And so basically our goal is, to flatten the curve. And the good thing is that right now that's hopefully what's trying to happen, although to be honest, anything can happen. And if another big variant like the BA.2 subvariant of Omicron that has been found to be very severe and way more contagious than Omicron is, if BA.2 becomes big, then we might see another wave. Like, it's probably our fourth or fifth wave by this point, a wave that is so much bigger than anything we've ever seen before. So that's what's been going on with coronavirus and the wake of Omicron. So let's take a look at our final story of the week, which is the fact that President Biden has nominated Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court. If officially confirmed by the United States Senate, she'll become the first black woman of all time to serve as a judge on the Supreme Court. So this is absolutely big. Now, Ketanji Brown Jackson is currently a judge on the United States Federal Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia, D.C. Circuit. Now, if officially confirmed, Ketanji Brown Jackson will be replacing Supreme Court Judge Stephen Breyer, who's been serving for over 28 years as a judge on the Supreme Court, and who announced his retirement in January. Now, when asked about his intentions, President Biden expressed his goal to make history and nominate the very first ever black woman to be on the Supreme Court. But she won't become a Supreme Court judge just yet. First, she needs to pass a series of hearings with rigorous questioning in the Senate Judiciary Committee, and this committee will be voting to see whether to pass this nomination on to the full Senate. And if the Senate incomplete passes her, and that means that she is confirmed, and then she'll become the first black woman Supreme Court judge. And that is incredible. Now, that is all of your news of the week for the week of February 20th to February 26th, 2022. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in another News of the Week. Goodbye.